where this guy basically was pissed off at his baby mother while she was still pregnant, very pregnant, because I mean she had to be like 5, 6 months because old girl decided to go ahead and knock off, another dude, and the dude contacted him. He's like, I just smashed her like 2 days ago, homie, and her belly is out. I'm gonna tell you something for you ladies who do this. This is a horrible idea because once your thrill is gone, you're gonna want that man to support that child. But that man is always gonna have doubts in his mind now that that child was never his. Even if the DNA says it's his, he's gonna always have questions in his mind on whether that child is his. Always. And he's never gonna love that child the way a father is supposed to. He never is. And I don't care if it's the spitting image of him. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters to him is that you were letting another man smash, and that doubt, that seed that you know that guy was planting in him, he thinks that could be, hey, that could be his child too. So like I said, even if you can prove to the guy that, look, this is your child, he's never gonna love that child. Not the way he's supposed to. Not the way he's supposed to. He may love the child, but he may not love the child the way he's supposed to. There's a big difference. So you women who do this stuff, it's very dangerous. I mean, I know you're just trying to get off, but hey, what's going on, Star? It's very dangerous for the child. It's highly, listen, this is highly dangerous for the child. Okay, so if you look at situations, a lot of situations that are coming up that we've seen recently where fathers who are not with the mother, but they have, the mother has their child. These fathers are very angry at the mother, and when they're so angry at the mother that they turn around and do anything to the child. You have situations like that now. So you think that, oh, you just gonna dog this man out, you're gonna sleep with his friends, or whatever, or whoever you got on the side, and you don't care about the dude. But the child is in danger now because you're still trying to introduce that child to the father. But I don't know if you ever watched the Animal Kingdom. Listen, when the Animal Kingdom, if they don't think that that's their child, what do they do to it? They get rid of it. So you're having fathers who are pissed off beyond control because the mother planted that evil seed into the father's heart. And the father is like, whenever he gets upset at the mother, especially if he can't get to the mother, guess what he's going to do? He's going to get to that child. And that child is in danger. This is why you never do that, ladies. And you ladies think, oh, you're just trying to get off. You think it's hurting the man. No, what it's doing is it's killing the spirit. It's killing his spirit. It's killing his spirit. It's denying him the permission to love. That's what it's doing. It's burning his spirit out. That's what it's doing. It's shutting his whole spirit down. Even if he loves that child, he still can't get out of his head for the rest of his life that you are letting another man, do whatever to you, and you did it on purpose. You did it on purpose. I'm telling you, lady, this is a very, very highly dangerous thing. And the new generation of men that are coming up now have very little respect for you women. You women aren't the lily of the valley flowers that you were some 20, 30 years ago. You women are nowhere close to that. You women fight like men. You women hurl insults at men. You 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 burn men out in the worst way. You do whatever you can to hurt men. You're very savage. And then you listen to music that makes you even more savage and turns your heart cold. There's no femininity in you whatsoever. Uh, and you and these men they don't treat you like a human being. They try to run through you with vengeance and with anger, and with a yeah. I mean, it's unreal the way the new generation is. They have no love for you whatsoever. So what do you think they're gonna do when it comes to that child? You're playing a very dangerous game with someone else's life. Is the moral of the story. And you women act like you can handle all of this trauma that's coming towards you, but you're human. You're not supposed to handle that trauma. You're not supposed to be running out here alone like a bunch of banshees. You're not supposed to be out here carrying weapons and, you know, doing all this dangerous stuff. And a lot of you women who are doing this, once you get into the court system's hands, you break down and you want to turn into a female again. You want to turn into a woman again. You want people to sympathize with you, to empathize with you. You want the men who are holding you captive now to have mercy on you. This is what you want. You want the court to let you go because you're a woman. No, you did what you did because you wanted to. There is no mercy on you. There's no mercy on her because she's a female. No, you got to understand, especially you black women, you have to understand this. The court was not made for you. The court system is not made for you to benefit at all. You can't do what you want and walk away like Caucasian women can. You can't do that. You can't just do what you want and walk away. So I'm telling you, ladies, listen, I know it's a practice that's going on and it's crazy. But for you women who are pregnant with somebody's child, do not go and have sex with another man. Listen, it may not be working out for old boy and you. He may have moved on, whatever, or he's messing with somebody else that you're well aware of, and you're sitting up there. You still got urges. All of that is understood. Understood. Everybody's got urges. Middle of the night, middle of the day, everybody got urges. But the moment you let another man walk into your bedroom, just walk into your bedroom, hell, come into your house, and the other guy finds out about it, your child is in danger. Your unborn child is in danger. That unborn child is in danger of neglect. That child will grow up to be a heartless savage, and will get into trouble because it will feel unloved. That child will reach out and lash out to anybody in a negative way. And when it does, the world will lash back. And when the world hits back, it's a whole different story. The world don't play with nobody. It has mercy on nobody. And if you go out there and try to, box with the world, you're going to get shut down, you're going to get knocked out, and you're going to get taken off the planet. Be careful, ladies. Your vagina it has universal laws. And if you don't obey those universal laws, the universe will come for it. It will. I'm telling you now, do not sleep with another man while you're pregnant, especially if that baby daddy finds out. Don't do it, because now you're on your own. And that child is on their own. And that child is going to be needing a father. That child's going to seek a father. I don't care. Look, Look, it's only natural. It's only natural for that child to want to be loved. You say what you want, ladies. You do what you want. It's your body. But that child is going to want to be loved from the day it comes out. It is not codependent just on the mother. That child is codependent on the mother and the father. Why? Because the child can understand what the mother is saying long before it gets out. That child knows what, trying to turn my car on. That child knows what you're saying to it. That child responds to love. That child responds to love. That child responds to hate. Just like any plant. You ever seen the experiment where they did the experiment on the plant? And they took the plant and they yelled at one plant, and then the other plant they gave love to, and the one plant died? They did the same thing with rice. They took a jar of rice, 2 jars of rice, and did the same experience, and they watched one jar die and the other one thrive. That child is the same way. Those type of women are led by the flesh. Yeah. Salute, Tone. I'm doing good, man. Yeah, those kind of women are led by the flesh, but those type of women, listen, they're misguided by the flesh. This is 100% true. And they're listening to these demons who tell them it's okay to do what they're doing. And because they don't follow the Lord, they just go off in any territory. But it's the child who suffers the most. That child is going to be in pain for the rest of his or her life. Because that child is always going to be searching for the father. And what's even worse, let me tell you what's even worse. The child may know the father. Why are you looking at my truck like that? What's going on? What's up? What's up? The child may know the father, but the child doesn't know the father. The child will know who the father is, but never grow up with the child. Or he may come around every now and then. He may be one of those good guys, but there's always going to be that disconnect, and the mother's going to see it in him, especially if he has another child with a woman who's been good to him. Oh, it's lights out. It's like there will be so much. Okay, let me use an example. Okay, this is a different kind of example, but nonetheless, it's an example on how the mother treats a child that's not hers. There's a guy I knew. He pretty much an older gent, and he had an employee that was 17, and he knocked her up, but he was married. Now I used to date the wife's sister, so she would come and tell me all kind of stuff. So this wife probably still is so in love with the husband that when he would make love to her, she would cry. She loved him that much. He got her a nice house. I mean, they live in a nice crib. He made good money. I've met him before. He's different. He made good money. In everything, people looked up to him, so on and so forth. But when that young piece of tail came around, he could not resist because she was willing. She wanted an older man. She saw his status, and he was her boss. And this is how a lot of young, yeah. You would think that, but this is how a lot of young women are. They see an older man's status, women want to nest. So she was like, "Yeah, come on, let's go." So he's knocking her off in the office, right? He gets her pregnant. So she has a oops child, right? That child grows up. Once that child grows up, it's like 10, 11 years old. The child would go and see the father, right? And what had happened was the child always notices when he comes in the door that the mother automatically starts to shun the child because that's not her child. When you look at, like in my situation, My dad married into five children that weren't his. He already had, one, two, three, four girls. He adopted one and me, but he didn't grow up with me. But when I turned 18, I sought him out and I wanted to live with him. So a few years later, I moved to Akron to live with him. And that stepmother always treated me like crap, even to this day. Even to this day. She treated me like crap. So when someone thinks that the child is not theirs, this is what you're looking at, and it's a hurtful thing because the child never forgets. Obviously, that guy is not smart at all. Well, he got away with it, and you have to understand. Okay, so I understand what you're saying, but there are a few things to consider just in that situation. For one, you're considering the law. You're saying, okay, the man was sick, and then the law. For one, she's 17. We live in the state of Ohio. In the state of Ohio, a 16-year-old can consent to whoever she wants to. Even if it's a 16-year-old boy can consent to whoever he wants to. So, when you're like, oh, he's sick, she was 17. And she consented openly to, being with him. There are other states that the age limit, it manipulation. But that's not the way the court sees it. The court doesn't see that 17-year-old being with the 35-year-old and going, he manipulated her. Even if that is what happened, that's not how the court sees it. Now, if she was 14, yes. But she was 17, so in the state of Ohio, at the age of 16, once you hit that birthday, you can consent to whoever you want without your parents. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm saying this is why he did not get in trouble. Because the courts looked at it, and for one, nobody said anything. Nobody went and tried to press charges against him. Because it's like, what charges are you going to press against him? This has been going on, in his office for the longest time, and the girl never pressed charges. So, there's just nothing there. Yeah, there's just nothing there. A YouTuber just reported a man had a heart attack and died after a DNA test came back that he wasn't the father. Ladies, if you sleep with another man while you're pregnant, that father, the real father, is not going to look at that child and love that child the way he's supposed to. He may be dutiful. That's different, but that's not love. And some of these females think that they can turn their ass up whenever they want to, and a man should accept it. Well, if you look at World Star Hip Hop this morning, you're going to see a video, and it's going to be the polar opposite of what women think should happen. Just go ahead and look at World Star Hip Hop and go click through a few of those videos and see what happened to this woman who thought it was okay to turn her ass up to just her side dude. Go see what happened to her. It is not wise at all, especially if you're married. Listen, it's not wise at all. But if you're going to have a child, if you want that child to be taken care of, even if you don't want to be with that man anymore, do not, good morning. Do not let another man have access to your womb. Listen, even if, oh yeah, you saw it, didn't you? Yeah, I don't care who it was. That husband lost it. And you know what? When that husband goes to court, guess what his excuse is gonna be? Guess what his excuse is gonna be when he goes to court? You know what I'm saying? Because, for one, it's assault with a deadly weapon. And it's gonna be 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. But his defense, I'm just going to let you guess at what his number one defense is going to be, and it was caught on camera. And listen, he knows he's on camera because he set up the camera. He's the one, that's how he knew. guess what his defense is going to be? And it's a good chance it's going to lessen his sentence. It's going to lessen his sentence because the guy who the side dude knew he was married. The wife knew she was married. They both knew that he lived there. They both knew that he lived there. They both knew him. Oh, there's no excuse for them. Okay. Yeah. There's gonna be no excuse. What the guy's excuse is gonna be crime of passion. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna use a crime of passion. And he's gonna be look, what he did is not justified, but crime of passion is a real thing. There's a real overload of emotion that goes with crime of passion, in which anything can happen. Anything. And they're gonna look at all this. Yeah. They're gonna look at all the stipulations of crime of passion. And they're gonna say, how can a crime of passion happen and this be the outcome? Well, your wife was cheating on you. Then they're gonna say, were they together? Were they separated or were they together? They were together. Did the husband love the wife? He loved the wife. Now here's the real kicker. Did the wife love the husband? That's the real kicker. Because you can love somebody who doesn't love you and live in the same house. I've done that before. You can love somebody who doesn't love you. But if that person is constantly telling you that they love you, acting like they love you, doing everything to prove that they love you, and then turn around and do this, that means they manipulated you. They manipulated you into believing that. Didn't know you have a channel, Polo. Yeah, anybody on here has a channel. That means they manipulated you into thinking that they loved you. And they did it so you can act accordingly, so you can do things for them, so you can get things out of them. I've had women do that to me, act like they love me, but then, we're doing all kind of, other stuff on the side. But nonetheless, they didn't want me to leave them because they wanted my affection. They wanted my attention. They wanted me to sleep with them. They wanted me to fix things around their house. This is what they want. This is how women manipulate men. And as long as I was doing these things, they would act like they love me. They would do things for me all the time, but nonetheless, they still had their little thing on the side. And eventually, I was like, I know what you're doing, and I'm leaving. And they would try to stop me from leaving. They'd be like, no, because they wanted my sweetness. They wanted to tell me their stories. They wanted me to comfort them when they felt down. They wanted me to listen to the stories about their families and what's going on with their day, because affection is a weapon. Affection is a weapon. If you listen to a woman, that woman will constantly try to talk to you. She will come back to you constantly, because she knows she can get what's in here out on you. This is why the friend zone is a terrible thing. Yeah, this is why women use the friend zone to their advantage, so they can constantly talk about their issues, especially when it's with another man who's just doing them wrong, but they want to keep you as their guy friend. That's why I tell you, do not have any female friends. If she gets to talking about, yeah, no doubt. If she gets to talking about her boyfriend or her other friend, somebody she's given access to her vag, and then you're like, well, shoot, I want to be down, and she's like, no, that's not what I want, then kick her out. Be like, listen, I'm not interested. I had a woman tell me not too long ago, she's like, yeah, in the last couple of days, I let 5 men run through me. I was like, what? And here we are. We're at breakfast. I bought her breakfast, because I knew her for a long time. And she was like, yeah, in the last few days, I just, I let 5 strangers, just, within the last couple of days, just run through her. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, what? So I'm telling you, and that's the last time I've seen her. So, you know, you, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you got to be careful of when these women start dumping all these feelings on you. When you're like, listen, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about your feelings because you know what you're doing. So a crime of passion is going to be that guy's excuse. And, you know, being that, I don't know if the wife or the boyfriend is deceased, but if they're not deceased, you know, I don't think he's going to do that long. I don't think he's going to, because he did what somebody who loves somebody else did. Did I? No, I didn't smash. No, it was just breakfast, and then she went on about her way, and I haven't seen her since. And so that guy's going to have he's going to get away with it because it's going to be a crime of passion. You know, he's going to get assault with a deadly weapon, though, so that's going to carry some years, but I think he might do, what, 6, 7 years and get out. You know, she told me she loved me. I believe her. You know, I got emotional and I got angry, and that's it. But yeah, so back to the subject at hand, ladies. If you see, I'm speaking from an old, you know, from an older, you know, somebody who's experienced some of this stuff. You know, that's why that's the edge I have on the younger people. There's no young wise man. I've been through some of the stuff with goofy women. You know, I've had women do some terrible things to me, and you know, and then want to come back to you, and you know, want to be around you because, and they know they're doing terrible things. And sometimes you get, because I'm an average guy, I'm an average looking guy. Only thing that's not average about me is my height. I'm 6'2". So when it comes to an average person, when beautiful women come around us, we want to hang on to them. You know what I'm saying? We want to hang on to them. We want to get as much time with them as we can because it makes you think that you're more valuable because these beautiful women are coming around you, especially if they let you have access to their womb. You know, you're like, yeah, like I'm the man. And when they all leave you, your confidence leaves with them. And that's the lie. That's the lie. You know, women bring you confidence. See, that's the lie. Everybody would think that, oh, these women are bringing me confidence. They're the ones who make me me. No, you make you. Either you're confident or you're not. You're confident by yourself. You're confident in a crowd of people. You can have 30 women and still not be confident. But the way society is set up is it makes you think that your confidence comes from your sexual market value. That's not true. It just gives you more access to, you know, have, you know, more children and sexual relationships, but it doesn't give you more confidence because if they take away everything, if they just walk out and say, I don't want to see you no more, what you start getting that feeling like, oh. And then if you obey those feelings, if you listen to those voices that are creeping up in your head and those spirits that start talking to you, they're going, don't let her leave. Do whatever you can within reason and sometimes not within reason, to keep her. Don't let her walk out of your life. Call her back, beg, go down to see her. Call her and say, hey, I just wanted to hear your voice. She's like, I don't want to hear your voice. Yeah. Kev Samuels covers a lot of great topics, but you know, these women, they can fool you. If a beautiful woman knocks on your door, and you know you guys have great conversation, next thing you know, she's ready to show you her, you know, naughty bits. You're like, okay, what's going on here? Like, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? You know, if I did something right, how can I repeat this? Because now I have access to a beautiful woman's womb. But here's another rub. Even if she does give you access to her womb, can you keep access to that womb? Who else is she giving access to the womb? You know what I'm saying? And that's where the problem comes in. Because if she's constantly giving you access to her womb, if If she's constantly giving you access to her womb, then you're convinced in your mind that your confidence is built up. You're convinced that you're trying to lay claim to this because that's what men do. We lay claim to things. So now you're trying to lay claim to this, but then here it comes. Nope, you can't lay claim to me. I give you access to my womb, but you're not. I don't want to be yours. Now here comes the anger. Now she's letting you know just in that sentence that there are other men who have access to her womb. And if you guys have been doing this for a minute, you're probably going at it wrong. Next time she shows up, she says, "I'm pregnant." Your reaction is, and your question is it mine? Is it mine? She's gonna say yes, and you're gonna be like, "How do I know?" And when that child comes out looking like you, your same nose, your same eyes, your same demeanor, you're still going to be thinking, is this child mine? The DNA test is going to say it's 100% yours. You're still going to think, is this child mine? You're still going to have some reserve about that woman because that woman said, she made it very clear that I'm not your woman. And and what that means there are other men who have had access to your womb. And any man who have had access to your womb, you don't even know how many. They could have done the same thing the same night or during the time of conception. This could be anyone's child, and they could just happen to look like you. And if you don't think that's true, go look at that show where they do the paternity test. The one woman got up there and she was like, I think that this is, she said, this is my son. She's the one son was standing on one side, and the father that she thought was the father was standing on the other side, and she was sitting in the stand, opposite of adjacent to the judge, and the judge was asking her. She was like, "So you think that this guy's the father?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's either him or one other person." And she was pretty much saying that they were kids during the time, 15, 16, doing what kids do, and that guy and his brother was knocking her off. And the thing about it is the son looked exactly like the guy in court, and it turned out that wasn't his son. And the guy in court was like, "Hey, if that's my son, I didn't know. I apologize to him. I'm very sorry. I'm here now. It's cool." And the thing about it is, when they showed pictures of that guy and the guy you thought it was his son, they both had toothpicks in their mouth on the same side with their head slightly cocked back like this. They had the same style, same demeanor. They looked alike. That was not his child. That was crazy as heck. DNA is something else. But nonetheless, he was like, "Look, I accept you if you're my son, but I didn't know. She didn't tell me." And so it turned out that, he wasn't the son, and he was like, "Look, I'm still cool with you," so on and so forth. And his brother was the son. So that's his uncle. And he was like, "Hey, you can come around." The son was older anyway. He was like 25. So, they were both very gentlemen about the whole thing. But it just showed how DNA can trick somebody into thinking that this, or not DNA, but, well, yeah, DNA too. But if you don't have a DNA test and you're looking at a child and the child acts like you, does what, has all your demeanors, no, it still might not be your child. Turns out it's your brother's child. That's why the child acts like you, because you all come from the same strand of DNA. So, I just wanted to, this was going to be a short video, but you guys started listening, so I stayed on. I don't make any money off of long videos, but, and I've been on my money. I've been chasing dollars. I ain't gonna lie, I've been chasing dollars. That's why I've been doing shorter videos, because I've been chasing dollars. My whole mind is just, constantly on getting money. It's probably because I'm getting older and I can't do all the things I used to do. So I don't have the time, and my body hurts every day. So I'm like, I better get as much money as I can now, because I don't know when this body's gonna tell me, you can't do things anymore. But so yeah, I've been on my money game, and yeah, Polo, I will check out your channel, and thank you guys for stopping by. It's your boy Tone 202. Peace.